Welcome to Unpause Yourself, the podcast where we explore inspiring stories and practical solutions for women navigating menopause. I'm your host, Beth, and today I'm thrilled to be joined by someone who's not only an expert in menopause, but has also walked this path herself. Please welcome Dr. Andrea, who's here to share her personal journey and offer insights that could help transform your menopause experience.
Thank you so much for having me, Beth. I'm really excited to be here and share both my professional and personal experiences with your listeners.
Today, we're diving deep into real conversations about menopause, the challenges, the surprises, and most importantly, the practical solutions that can help women reclaim their energy and vitality during this significant life transition. Dr. Andrea, what first inspired you to start speaking openly about menopause? I'd love to hear about your personal motivation.
Beth, it really started when I found myself experiencing symptoms that, despite being a doctor, I wasn't fully prepared for. I remember sitting in my office one day, having a hot flash during a patient consultation, and realizing that if I, as a medical professional, was struggling to navigate this, how must other women feel?
That's such a powerful moment of realization. Can you tell us more about those initial changes you experienced?
Of course. The first signs caught me completely off guard. I was 48, and suddenly my sleep patterns went haywire. I'd wake up at 3 a.m., drenched in sweat, and my mood swings were affecting my relationships at home. The irony was that I'd treated countless women for these exact symptoms, but experiencing them personally was a whole different story.
How did that personal experience change your approach to discussing menopause?
It transformed everything about my practice. I went from treating menopause as a clinical condition to understanding it as a profound life transition. I started sharing my own story with patients, and the response was incredible. Women would literally tear up with relief, knowing they weren't alone, and that even their doctor was going through the same things. That's when I knew I had to speak up more publicly about this.
Who were your biggest sources of support during your menopause journey, Dr. Andrea?
My support system was absolutely crucial. My husband was incredibly patient and understanding, even when I couldn't explain why I was feeling the way I did. But honestly, the most unexpected support came from a group of women physicians I connected with online. We created this informal support network where we could share our experiences openly, without judgment.
That's fascinating. Was there anything about your menopause journey that really surprised you?
Oh, absolutely. The biggest surprise was how much my perspective on self-care changed. Before menopause, I was always putting everyone else first: my patients, my family, my practice. But this experience taught me that prioritizing my own well-being wasn't selfish, it was necessary. I learned that taking time for myself actually made me a better doctor, wife, and friend.
Could you elaborate on how that shift in perspective affected your daily life?
Well, I started setting boundaries at work, something I'd never done before. I scheduled regular breaks during my day for short meditation sessions. I also discovered that exercise wasn't just about staying fit anymore. It became this powerful tool for managing my symptoms and maintaining my emotional balance. The most surprising thing was realizing that by taking better care of myself, I was actually setting a powerful example for my patients and my teenage daughter about women's health and self-advocacy.
Dr. Andrea, you've mentioned finding some effective solutions during your journey. Could you tell us about your experience with Menoquil?
I'm really excited to share this because discovering Menoquil was a game changer for me. I found it while researching natural solutions online, and the clinical evidence really caught my attention. What's remarkable is that according to surveys from their official website, 100% of users reported reduced hot flashes and mood swings, and 94% experienced fewer night sweats.
Those are impressive numbers. Did you experience similar results yourself?
Absolutely. Within about 4 weeks of starting Menoquil, I noticed significant changes. My hot flashes became less frequent and less intense. But what really impressed me were the comprehensive benefits. The supplement works to balance hormones naturally, and I experienced improvements in my energy levels and even my libido.
Can you tell us more about what makes Menoquil so effective?
It's really about the carefully selected natural ingredients. You've got red clover and black cohosh root, which are well known for supporting hormone balance. Then there's dong quasai and wild yam root, which have been used traditionally for women's health for centuries. The formula also includes guggul gum resin, which supports weight management, something many women struggle with during menopause.
The weight management aspect is interesting. What other benefits have users reported?
The survey results show that 97% of users reported reduced stress and irritability, 86% experienced improved sleep, and 80% noticed boosted energy levels. What I love about Menopause is that it's not just targeting one symptom. It's designed to address the full spectrum of menopause-related challenges that women face.
Let's talk about daily habits and practices. What specific routines have you found most helpful in managing menopause symptoms?
Exercise has been absolutely crucial for me. I make sure to get at least 30 minutes of movement every day, even if it's just a brisk walk. The endorphins help with mood swings, and regular exercise has really helped me maintain a healthy weight.
That's great advice. What about sleep? I know that's a big challenge for many women.
Sleep is fundamental. I've developed a strict bedtime routine, no screens an hour before bed, keeping my bedroom cool, and using breathable sheets. I also found that having an early, light dinner helps minimize night sweats.
Any specific stress management techniques you'd recommend?
Absolutely. I practice mindfulness meditation for just 10 minutes each morning, and it's made a huge difference in managing anxiety and mood swings. I've also joined a women's support group that meets monthly. Having that community of women who understand exactly what you're going through is invaluable.
Speaking of support systems, how can women build those connections?
I encourage women to be open with their close friends and family about what they're experiencing. Don't suffer in silence. I also recommend connecting with online communities. There are some wonderful Facebook groups and forums where women share their experiences and tips.
Do you have any practical tips for managing hot flashes during the workday?
Yes, I keep a small fan at my desk and dress in layers. I also always have a water bottle with me and try to stay well hydrated. Something that surprised me was how much certain foods and drinks could trigger hot flashes, so I started keeping a symptom diary to identify my personal triggers.
I'd love to explore how menopause has impacted your relationships. How did your family and friends respond when you started experiencing symptoms?
It was quite a journey. Initially, I struggled to communicate what I was going through, especially with my husband. The mood swings would come out of nowhere, and he didn't understand why I was suddenly irritable or emotional.
How did you bridge that communication gap?
I started by educating myself first, then sharing what I learned with my family. I found that when I could explain the science behind what was happening, they became much more understanding and supportive. My teenage daughter even started checking in on me regularly, asking how I was feeling.
What about in the workplace? That must have been challenging.
It definitely was. I remember having hot flashes during important meetings and feeling so self-conscious. But I made a decision to be open about it with my female colleagues, and that created this amazing ripple effect. Several other women started sharing their experiences too, and we formed this informal support network.
That's wonderful. Any advice for women who might be struggling with these relationship dynamics?
First, don't isolate yourself. Be honest with the people in your life about what you're experiencing. Second, set clear boundaries about what you need, whether that's quiet time, understanding about mood changes, or adjustments to social plans. Most importantly, remember that this is a natural phase of life, and you have nothing to be embarrassed about.
Have you found that these relationship changes have had any unexpected positive outcomes?
Absolutely. My relationships actually became deeper and more authentic. When you're vulnerable with people and they respond with support, it creates this beautiful connection. Even my work relationships improved because I was modeling that it's okay to be human and real in the workplace.
Dr. Andrea, thank you so much for sharing your inspiring journey and valuable insights with our listeners today. Your openness and practical advice will certainly help many women navigate their menopause journey with more confidence.
Thank you for having me, Beth. It's been wonderful to share my experience and hopefully help others feel less alone in this journey.
For our listeners who want to learn more about Menoquil and its benefits, you can visit the official website at menoquil.com. And if you found today's episode helpful, please subscribe to Unpause yourself and share it with anyone who might benefit from these conversations. Remember, menopause isn't just a pause in your life, it's an opportunity to reinvent yourself. Join us next week for another inspiring conversation.